Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to test your decision making skills based on real life problems faced by the other people. So for our first test, what would you do if your deadbeat father invited you to his wedding after 10 years of no contact? But before answering the above question, let's hear your situation first. So for your first situation, just imagine yourself as a 17-year-old female. You have not had a relationship with your dad since you were 8 years old. It broke you when your dad left because it was not just him. You lost your aunts, uncles, cousins and grandparents. They all stopped talking to you. You have been in therapy since you were 11. You worked out a lot of your issues about your dad. Your mother remarried. You have a stepdad and two brothers you love very much. You are applying to colleges and feel happier than you ever have. 3 weeks ago, your dad called you and he told you that he was engaged. He was getting married in the fall and he wanted you to come to your reunion so they can get to know each other's family and you can get to know your new siblings. He said she wanted to meet his kids before they got married. Your father has 3 kids, you, your brother and your sister. You have a relationship with your sister, but you are not so close because she lives very far away. You hung up your dad's call, you could not deal with it. You were very emotional and you bawled your eyes out. Now, what will you do in this situation? Will you accept the invitation from your father or you will never accept the invitation? I will give you 3 seconds to decide. But in the real life, OP decided to reject her dad's invitation. So the next day, you called your dad. You told him you had no interest in meeting his new family, that he was cruel for abandoning an 8-year-old, even more cruel for reaching out because he was forced to do so. You already had a family you were happy and secure with. You had no interest in him being in your life because he was no longer your dad and to not contact you. You called your sister to ask if you reached out to her. He did and she was going to go. You told her the conversation. She said what you said was appropriate because it was true, that you could have been nicer about it. You were a bit sad, but your family was there to comfort you. Your sister sent you a link to a FB post that your new stepmother had shared, saying she could not believe that a perfect man could have such a terrible children. So now what will you tell to your sister? Will you tell her to attend the wedding even after seeing that post? Or will you manipulate her to not attend the wedding? I will give you 3 seconds to decide and your time starts now. But in real life, the sister herself decided to not attend the wedding. So now your sister told you that she was not going to go to the reunion because she agreed she didn't want to meet this woman after what she said about you and your siblings. You thought that it would be the end of it, and though the post upset you, you tried to let it go, but you started getting calls from your father's side of the family, even your brother, telling you that you were a brick and idiot for ruining the reunion and telling your dad he was not your dad. Then told you that he cancelled the whole thing and he was questioning whether he should get married at all. They told you you could have reached out. It was not fair. They were being the ones blamed for the falling out. You have since blocked them. You did see a post on FB saying your dad postponed his wedding. But now you can't stop thinking about what they said. You mean yes, you could have reached out, but you feel that's not fair because you were 8. You should not have to be the one that make amends. You know that you were harsh and could have gone about telling him you didn't want him in your life in a nicer way, but you don't think you did anything wrong. Maybe that's because everybody around you is taking your side. You have had multiple people telling you you are an idiot. So now tell us, what will you do in this exact situation in the comment section? For the next test, just imagine yourself as a mother of a 6-year-old daughter, and your situation is, when you were growing up, your mother was not the best parent. She was usually passed out drunk and you mostly looked after yourself from 5 after your dad left. Although there was always food and heating, that's a background though. Your mother has been doing a lot better in and out of recovery places for the drink and has been off drugs for 6 years now. She's made some friends and you have let her back into your life a little. although you refuse her constant begging for money. You have been visiting once every 2 weeks with your daughter and so far been very positive. She seems to keep a good attitude when your daughter is there. She always compliments her and tells her she is very intelligent. She is always interested in how she is doing at school. So now tell us, what will you do in this situation? Will you allow your daughter to spend time with your mother? Or you will never allow your daughter to spend time with your mother? I will give you 3 seconds to decide. And your time starts now. But in real life, OP allowed her daughter to spend time with her mother. So the other day as you were visiting, you decided to take the next step and told your mother you were going to go to the shop at the top of her road, about a 5-minute walk there and back. She seemed fine and was acting naturally with your daughter as you left. You were glad she made so much progress since you were little and your child will be able to have a loving grandmother. You got back and everything seemed just as you had left it. You were happy at how far she had come. However, when you got home, your daughter said she had something she wanted to show you. You told her to go ahead. She pulled a lighter out of her pocket and showed you how to make fire. You were shocked and told her it was very dangerous. However, she was very upset and you had to take her new toy away. So you sat with her for a bit and explained why it was dangerous. And she seemed to understand. You put her to bed. Now tell us, what will you do in this situation? Will you call your mother to warn her, or you will take it as a casual thing? And I will give you 3 seconds to decide. And your time starts now. But in the real life, OP decided to call her mother to warn her. So you rang your mother and immediately asked why she gave your daughter a lighter and taught her how to use it. She just laughed. You were a little more than raising your voice at her, telling her it's unacceptable that she had teach your daughter to do something so dangerous. She then sighed and told you she never raised you to be so uptight and it was just a lighter. You told her she never raised you at all and she then shouted that you were ungrateful for everything she's done and your daughter was being raised a brat. You shouted back and told her with her attitude she clearly was not fit to see her granddaughter again and put the phone down. You later explained to your daughter that neither you nor her would be seeing her Nana again and she seemed disappointed. You told her you understand that she was sad but it's for her own good and she comes first. She told you she didn't understand because she wanted to see her. And you said you understand it's confusing but it's for the best. Since your daughter has been mentioning a lot that she misses her visits to Nana and you have been feeling more guilty now. You have cut off your daughter from her grandmother for the rest of her life over one argument that you had and maybe one disagreement should have such an effect on her life. Besides, she had been great before that. So now tell us, what will you do in this situation? Will you allow your daughter to meet your mother or you will never allow her? So are you ready for the next test? For this test, imagine yourself as the 8-year-old daughter. When your father was 20, he had a relationship with a girl. Let's call her Clara. When she got pregnant, he honestly was not happy. But since she was decided to keep the baby, there was not anything he could do. When your half-sister was born, let's say Sadie, your father legally recognized her. They have been shared custody and Sadie stays with him 2 weekends a month. He also pays child support, he goes to her school events, holidays, etc. Now tell us, what do you think about your father? Do you think your dad loves your stepdaughter or he is acting to be in love with her? You have 3 seconds to decide. And your time starts now. But in real life, OP's father didn't love her stepsister. So in this case, your father doesn't feel like he loves her and he knows that makes him an idiot. He cares about her but he does not miss her when she is not with him and he doesn't feel the need to see her. 10 years ago, your father met his wife, that is your mom, Anna, and it was a love at first sight. Side note, he and Clara were not in a relationship since Sadie was born, so no cheating. Clara and Sadie both disliked his wife, but that didn't stop him and they got married. And now they have one kid, and that is you. So with you, it was completely different for him. He loved you since the first moment he knew that you existed, and that love grows every day since you were born. Sadie comes to your house 2 weekends a month, but she hates your mom and you. So your father does not allow her to speak badly to you and your mom. He told her she has the right to not have a relationship with you, but she has to respect them. But your mom has no problem with Sadie and never complained about her. Your father's half sister, who is a friend of Clara, came to visit them and stayed with them for a few days. His half sister doesn't like your mom because she wanted him to marry Clara. They were no contact for a few years, but your mom, who wants everyone to have a good relationship, convinced him to let her back into their lives. But before leaving, she got in a fight with him, saying that he cuddles you way too much and how horrible he is for not doing that for Sadie. It is true that you are totally a daddy's girl, and if he is home, you will always follow him around and wants to be near him. You often ask for cuddles and hugs, and he is happy to give them to you. But your father's stepsister said he is an idiot. Your stepfather's stepsister said he is an idiot because since Sadie was not a daddy's girl, you should not be either. And he is the idiot for cuddling you even if he did not do the same for his oldest daughter. So now tell us to whom you will support in this situation. Will you support your father or will you support your aunt in this situation? Tell us what will you choose in the comment section.